So we're just mid conversation. I think we were with Senator Thune and Speaker Johnson, and he has this sort of beautiful ornate wooden box on his desk with a red button, and he presses it. Yeah. And he just kind of looks over at me, and I'm like, "Sir, is that did something bad just happen?" Yeah. And he's like, "No, I just ordered a Diet Coke."
That's what it is. It's the Diet Coke red button, and it comes running in. Then I'll ask you, "Would you like one?"
Yeah, exactly.
I've known President Trump for over 30 years.
Sure.
Had a close relationship with him in all those years. And he and I, when he was going to run, thinking about running, we had arguments for hours deep into the night about, I said, I'm not voting for you if you're not a conservative. Mm-hmm. You really are now getting to know him very well.
Sure.
What have you learned about him?
Well, it's interesting. One, I've learned that he has the most interesting decision-making process of any person I've ever met. And I think it's what makes him such an effective leader is that when he actually is thinking about doing something, he doesn't just ask like, his closest advisor or some policy person. If it's going to affect a business, he'll call the business's CEOs. He'll go and try to talk to the workers. He tries to take inputs from everywhere. And I think it's one of the reasons why he's so in tune with where the American people actually are. But it's also, I think, one of the geniuses of the way that he makes decisions is that he actually tries to talk to everybody. And that's something, honestly, I could write a book just about the way that he gathers information from all sources. Wow. And it's very unusual. I mean, in Washington, most politicians, if it's a national security issue, they'll talk to their national security person and maybe, somebody else in their office.
It's funny, dog. If you guys are over there looking at the side story, it says mass shooting in New Albany, Ohio. Ironically, that is exactly that's the city I work in. And trust me, when I was coming back home from work, man, you seen like 15 cop cars fly down the highway toward that location. And apparently somebody pulled up in there and just, gave a supervisor a headshot.
Disgruntled worker type situation?
Yeah, pretty much.
So if it's a business issue, maybe they'll talk to a CEO. The president talks to everybody, and that's a very, very profound thing about the way that he actually operates in Washington.
I would describe him as a force of nature, and there's nobody else like him.
Yes.
And I think in many ways he's misunderstood as well, because I know the personal side of him, and I know the business side of him. And as we've seen hundreds and hundreds of executive actions. Yes. And you've been here barely a little over a week now.
Yeah.
Speed of light. It's speed of light.
We've, I think, accomplished, honestly, more in 8 days than the entire Biden administration accomplished in 4 years. And of course, the things that we're accomplishing are actually good things, and the things they were accomplishing were mostly bad things. But the president has incredible energy. I mean, this is something you hear other people say about him, and it's hard to really appreciate it until you're up close and personal. I don't know how much he sleeps or if he ever really sleeps. I mean, you'll get phone calls from him.
I can answer that. Okay. He doesn't sleep a lot.
You'll get phone calls at 1 in the morning, and he'll just, he'll talk about policy and he'll talk about your family. And he just, there's something incredibly energetic about him, but you sort of need that, actually. The federal government.
Obviously he's energetic. I mean, his whole election, the whole election cycle, my man was going from speech to city to city to city, hit an interview, do an interview for an hour to 3 hours, come right back out and do another hour.
He's in his 70s and he hasn't skipped a beat. So just a testament to his will and how consistent he is.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you gotta be impressed when somebody's 70 moving like that. I mean, bro, most 70-year-olds is done for. I mean, look at Biden. Well, I mean, the man was 80, the man's 82, and he was nowhere near as energetic as Trump.
Government has become so sprawling, and the bureaucracy is so unresponsive to what the president actually wants to do that you kind of need somebody in there who's constantly on. It's all gas, no brakes. That's certainly what we've seen in the last, 8 days. I think it's what we'll see for the next 4 years.
When you look at, for example, the two biggest issues in this campaign, immigration and the economy.
Sure.
And because that's impacting the people in Ohio,
of course,
right?
Yeah,
that's impacting their life hard, and a lot of Americans have been really hurt. There was a study that came out, like 56% of Americans can't withstand a $1,000 emergency.
Sure,
it would be devastating for them. That scares me. I've been there. I've lived there. I know you've been there.
Of course,
not fun. Not where you want to be.
Not fun at all.
And when I think of the issue of immigration.
Yeah, that is wild. Like a $1,000 situation come up, and most of the Americans are crushed by it.
I mean,
It's over.
A lot of us have been there. It's a pretty relatable position, but it is scary to think that most Americans couldn't survive $1,000 emergency.
I mean, bro, they say like most Americans don't even have $1,000 in their account.
Americans are living beyond paycheck to paycheck. Like some of us are using cash borrowing apps and whatnot, payday loans.
Some of y'all aren't even living paycheck to paycheck. Y'all living a paycheck behind.
Robbing Peter to
Immigration in particular. I'm looking at, we have known terrorists in this country.
Yes,
we
do.
have known cartel members, known gang members. We have known murderers, rapists, and I'm
Make sure to like the video, man. Go ahead and double tap that screen or the 3 dots up there in the corner. Let's get more people in on the conversation.
watching the reaction of the left and the left-wing media and the Democrats. And, you know, we're back to Nazi fascists, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini. And I'm like, what part of these other people are you missing?
No, it's totally crazy, Sean. And if you look, you know, there was the guy who went viral a few days ago that we deported, 17 violent criminal convictions, and was actually saying,
the guy from Haiti.
He was saying, I hate Trump, I love Biden because Biden wanted me to stay in this country. Is there a better endorsement of Donald J. Trump that a violent criminal who shouldn't be in this country doesn't like him because Donald Trump is actually enforcing the immigration laws of this country? And it's everywhere, Sean. It affects everybody from all walks of life. It's the drug epidemic. It's the crime. It's the fact that if you live along the southern border, you're affected by this cartel activity. I mean, we've seen, Sean, just in the last couple of days, multiple cartel members have fired at our own border patrol. And you ask yourself, why wasn't that happening a couple of years ago? Because they weren't empowered to do their job.
And that's a great point that my man brought up. It's like the fact that we got illegal immigrants, violent illegal immigrants, pretty much praising Biden and Obama, kind of let you know, I'm gonna be real with you, who was working for who. They couldn't have been working for us because you don't see us out here praising Biden and Obama. But for some reason, these illegal immigrants who come into our country, do crime, and then somehow are praised for it or praised for being asylum seekers are out here praising these people. But we're not praising Biden. I mean, you name one good thing Biden has done for you so far? No, but you know it's crazy how a whole bunch of illegal immigrants can.
We deleted my student loans site.
The border has become so lawless that we're actually engaging in military style engagements just to regain control of our southern border. And thank God we're actually doing it this time, because if we had another 4 years of Biden and the Democrats' wide open southern border, it would permanently, and I think irreparably, transform this country. So yeah, we're doing immigration enforcement in a big way. We're also doing things to lower the cost of energy, because of course, if we can lower the cost of energy, we're going to make food and housing, groceries, everything else more affordable for American citizens. And that really is, you're exactly right. That is.
I want to emphasize that point because I see a lot of naysayers over here trying to emphasize the price of eggs and groceries and whatnot. I'm like, first of all, these have been the prices for months. Y'all ignored it while Biden was in office,
bro.
But want to emphasize it when Trump's in office. And then I'm just like, bro,
stupid.
How misinformed are you guys? Like, do you guys not know the economic process? Like, there is like a certain waiting game you have to play when it comes to lowering the price of services and goods. It doesn't happen overnight.
And here's the most disingenuous part. You're right, bro. The prices of eggs have been going up over the last year. And now y'all just want to talk about that Trump's in office, but you didn't want to talk about it when Biden was in office. You didn't want to talk about it when Kamala Harris was running. But now that Trump is when he's in office, you now want to talk about the rising prices of eggs. That's been happening for damn near a year now.
It didn't fit the narrative. And this low-key just resorts back to the gaslighting we've seen while Biden was in office. Oh, no, the economy is great. Bruh. We're not in a recession.
You stupid.
Prices of services and goods are affordable. Like, What do you mean? The inflationary rate is down,
man. Make sure y'all like the video, man. Go ahead and double tap that screen or the 3 dots up there in the corner. We appreciate the support, guys. But let's keep it going.
Is the two prongs of the Trump agenda. We want to create more prosperity and we want to create more security, and we're doing a lot. We're going to do a lot more.
I want to ask about the economy in a second, but we saw Tom Homan. I mean, I don't think there's anyone.
Talk about a force of nature.
Yeah. I've tried to make him smile. I've had no luck. If you pull that off, that would be a miracle. But I've known him a long time. I have a great admiration for him.
Me too.
And almost 10,000 deportations and some of the toughest criminals. Kristi Noem out on that ICE raid in New York yesterday. She was on TV with us last night. Amazing. 10,000 in a week. The president is looking for, 1,800 a day?
That's right.
And that's a pretty ambitious goal.
It's ambitious, but you need a leader who sets ambitious goals and actually holds people to meeting those goals. If you think we've got 20 plus million illegal aliens in this country, we have got to get these people out of our country and regain control of our own border. And it's not just the people that we're deporting. If you look at the number of illegal entries on January the 19th, the last day of the Democrats' administration, I believe the number was north of 1,300 illegal entries. 5 days later, we had already cut that by more than 60%, and I guarantee we're going to cut it even further. Policy matters. Elections have consequences, and President Trump ran explicitly on regaining control of the border and redelivering American prosperity. That's exactly what we're doing. And it is funny, Sean, to hear the media and the Democrats howl about this and say, well, this is bad. This is terrible. This is, like you said, fascist, Nazi, blah, 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 blah. The president promised the American people he was going to do this. They gave him a mandate. So now he's doing it. That's how democratic politics in this country works. And thank God for that.
If I was in your position or President Trump's position, and I never will be, let's be clear. But if I was, I think what would keep me up at night.
Even JD laughed at that one.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's not me, bro. It's like, trust me, we know, Hannity, you making enough money off Fox, you good.
And he's being humble. I mean, he does his thing. He's had a pretty successful career as a pundit.
Yeah, I mean, as a political candidate, I mean, you know what?
It is quite the stretch. I mean, to go from TV host, analyst, commentator to
what? I think he's seen what happened. I think he's seen what happened to Pete Hegseth, and he was like, "Yeah,
I don't want no smoke.
I'm good. I'm good."
Is the fact that we have known terrorists in the country, and we have murderers in the country, and rapists, and violent criminals, cartels, and gang members, as I said. I'm worried about an attack on the homeland, Mr. Vice President. How worried are you?
Well, look, I am worried, Sean, because we were given a country with hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe more of known terrorists that are in the United States of America, thanks to the open borders of the last administration. So it's our job to worry about it so that hopefully we can prevent that attack. So it's something that does keep us up at night. It's something that the government is working on very aggressively. We've got great intelligence services. We've got great border enforcement. We're trying to identify the bad guys and get them out of our country because, look, what you don't want to have happen, Sean, is let's say we take a foreign policy action that some foreign terrorist organization doesn't like. Well, now these guys, they're not in Syria or some foreign country. They're in our backyards. They're in our cities. We have to get them out to make the homeland safer, but also to empower the president to do the things that he needs to do when it comes to national security. So it does worry me. But we also have a government that's actually tackling this issue. It's getting better every single day.
How do we?
For those of y'all that say Key's been exaggerating when I've said that the migrant crisis is a national security, a homeland security issue, you got JD Vance, the vice president, admitting the exact same thing. Poses an issue to everyone.
And God, man, let's get us to 20 likes, man. Go ahead and do me a favor and double tap that screen. Hit the 3 dots up in there, man. We got over 50 y'all in here, man. Just do us a favor and double tap the screen.
You find them. I mean, you have known terrorists, but you don't know where they are. Known cartel members, but you don't know where they are.
Well, it's crazy, Sean. Sometimes you're right. We don't know where they are. Sometimes we actually do. And that's one of the craziest things of the last week. Just for me, you ask what is.
I'm look, we have a whole list. We've documented these people, knowing that they're tied to terrorist organizations, knowing that they had murder convictions in their own damn country. We still let their ass in. We got a list. We have a list of illegal immigrants that we caught at the border. We gave them a court date, but we released them back into, my bad. Instead of keeping them in Mexico, we released them into the United States.
At least, but not into their country, into ours.
Yeah. And we gave them a court date. They did not come to these court dates. We got a list. We got a whole bunch of outstanding warrants we can come after at any time. Like, bruh.
What said? Wait, hold on. You're telling me the criminals didn't come to their court date? No,
trust me, it's kind of crazy. It's like,
no way, Seth.
Bro, can you imagine like not going to your court date, getting a warrant, and they don't even come up on you about it? No knock on the door, no nothing. What? Lord knows you an American citizen, man. Them police at your door, boy, like as soon as you wake up for work, like, yep, come on with us.
To be honest, I just find it hard to believe that these criminals didn't show up to their court date. What, Seth? You telling me they broke the law?
Breaking the shoot.
I thought they were less prone to breaking the law than American-born citizens.
I mean, bro, as soon as they cross the border, they committed a felony.
No, say illegal migration isn't a crime.
I mean, that's what they want us to believe.
The shocking to me, it's that many of these violent criminals, we knew their addresses, we knew their names. We just needed to send somebody to go to their house and get them the hell out of the country. That really should shock the American people.
We've known where they are.
Exactly.
And we've known they've had terror ties.
We've known at least that they had violent criminal backgrounds, and we haven't done anything until about 8 days ago when Donald Trump became the president of the United States again. It really